What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of MURG Mayhem, where one take can cause mayhem. It is Thursday, June 6th. This is also the start of the NBA playoffs, so we're going to get into lots of finals, expectations, and some other basketball stuff, as long as, baseball, obviously, and, and some special segment of Throwback Thursday at the very, very end. So this episode might be up before the finals game starts or a little bit after, or maybe during the game. I'm not really sure when this will be officially up on YouTube for everyone to watch. But I'd like to just thank whoever is watching and subscribing, and whoever even clicks on the page. Thank you so much. Like on the video and comment just to see if you agree, or just if you just want to, just leave something for me that I can improve on. I would love to improve to make this platform better. And so yeah, we're just going to get started. So finals, game one of the Mavericks and Boston series. I did have an episode that's not up on YouTube. I might not even edit it, but I might start a unedited, just raw footage of episodes that haven't been edited, just to get just to get some of these episodes up, because some of these episodes talked about other things that I haven't been able to cover or edit because of I got a new work position at work and everything like that. So, but yeah, back to the finals. So Dallas Mavericks obviously beating Minnesota, and Boston getting the sweep against Indiana. So I've been trying to figure out who I think is going to win in 7 or 6, whichever. I watched a lot of First Take, NBA Countdown, just basically Gil's Arena, inside the NBA, like whoever had an opinion on who they thought was going to win was basically split down the middle. There wasn't really a consensus of, like, for sure, hey, I think these people are going to win. It was basically lots of split, and not down the middle. But as far as ESPN goes, it was they had Mavericks. They had 9 people say the Mavericks, 8 people said the Celtics, and then I believe inside the NBA was kind of mixed. I don't really remember, but I think the Mavericks are going to win in 7. I do think that it's going to be, I think Boston's going to win tonight because it's the first game at home, and then I think the Mavericks are going to win on Saturday. It's going to be every other day, I'm pretty sure, but for the Mavericks, if they're going to win, they have to figure out, one, who Luka's going to try to defend. Because if you look at Boston starting 5, Tatum is the 4, Brown's the 3, White's the 2, Drew Holiday's the 1, and obviously Porzingis is the 5, right? So I would probably say Derrick Jones is probably going to be on Tatum, and Washington's going to be on Jaylen Brown. And then Kyrie is going to be guarding Drew Holiday. And Gafford is going to guard Porzingis, obviously. And so Luka, the only other option is Derek White. And I don't really know who is going to give that assignment for him, or if he's just going to just try to guard him. But basically, what Tim Legler said about the just good team defense for Dallas Mavericks against the Minnesota Timberwolves that made Luka act like he was a good defender, they're going to have to do a lot of that in this series, because not only is Boston one of the top 5 best offensive teams, but they're also a top 5 defensive team as well. And with Boston's, I was watching Gil's Arena earlier, or at least a clip that aired I think yesterday, and it was basically talking about the statistics of Luka against a pick and roll if someone traps it or blitzes it, and it's a 0.67, so they get about, I don't know if it's an average of 6 points or they get 6 or per 100 possessions. I don't know if they get 6 points every time. But, you know, if they do come out of pick and roll base, that's where Luke is successful, because if they try to switch it, he gets a big man and it's, you know, barbecue chicken. But what Rashad McCants was talking about is if they bring in a guard, obviously just going to switch it. And I don't really think that's going to work necessarily, because not only is Luka probably going to have Jaylen Brown, which I fully expect that that's going to happen, but if there's another guard, except for like PJ Washington, who's a forward, but he doesn't have to roll necessarily. He can pick and pop, or he can roll and do all of that and do what Gafford and Lively do. But basically, he's going to probably be in a corner somewhere, just ready to shoot the three. That wouldn't work, because not only would you switch off Jaylen Brown, who's probably going to be his primary defender, but depending on who comes at him, if it's Derrick Jones Jr., it's probably going to be Jason Tatum, and if it's Kyrie, it's probably going to be Jrue Holiday, and if it's PJ Washington, PJ Washington's probably going to be guarded by Tatum, my bad. But, you know, if Derek White is guarding Jones Jr., then he's going to take care. Basically, four of some of the best defensive players in the league is going to be switching if a guard or PJ Washington comes over, or Derrick Jones Jr. and screens instead of Gafford and Lively. So the pick and roll is going to be an interesting. How will Luka try to pick that apart? But also, if they do double team him at times, they're going to have to deal with somebody getting a wide open three. And with the way Derrick Jones has been shooting, especially in the last game and game 4, game 2 of the Minnesota series, I believe. I don't want to say something and then it not be right, but game 2. We're just going to make sure that I'm saying something right. No. Game 2, he went 0 for 3. But throughout the whole playoffs, Derrick Jones Jr. has been shooting surprisingly well for him not being a shooter. But, you know, even if he wants to pick and roll, he could, you know, get the alley-oop, be the alley-oop threat. But it's definitely going to be interesting for sure. I do think that this game or this series, Porzingis is going to be playing tonight. So when you add him, it's going to be difficult for the Dallas Mavericks defensively, because Porzingis can shoot from basically not probably half of what Steph Curry can shoot. He can't shoot from the logo, Porzingis, but is it common? No, it's pretty rare that he does that. But he's got a post fade, he's got post game, he's got 3-point. I mean, he's going to be a problem for the Dallas Mavericks, alongside with Jason Tatum and alongside with Jaylen Brown, and it's going to be a pretty interesting series, a fun series to watch. And unfortunately, I don't have it on ABC, so I have to watch on ESPN3, because cable is a menace nowadays. And so, but I do think Mavericks are going to win in 7. I do think that Dallas is going to win the first home game, and then Boston wins the second, and then it's just going to be alternate after that. But I mean, Luka. I was watching NBA Countdown just about an hour or so ago, and they were talking about how his resume of him being 19, coming into the NBA, and then I think at 19 or 21 he was first team All NBA, and then now just just dominating. How he's just as a pro at 16 at Real Madrid, and just being the youngest MVP there, and then coming over. They showed some graphics of European or overseas crowds that he played at, and I just wish that we had that capacity. Sorry, I hit my desk on accident. But the amount of people that were in that stadium or in that arena, just cheering, booing, whatever. I mean, it was insane to just look at, but like I could only imagine playing in that. Man, you probably couldn't even hear the whistle. But another key for Dallas, I feel like with Dallas they have to find a way to let the role players produce. I do think that with Boston being able to score basically at any time they want, I don't think Hardaway played a lot last series. And I know he played in one game, but I do think that if they need to find a bench scorer, they have one in Hardaway. But I mean, Jaden Hardy's been playing very well for the Dallas Mavericks coming off the bench. And Horford's been playing well as I just want to note that too. Al Horford's been playing his butt off since the Porzingis injury. And I mean, Al Horford's been averaging, as far as this postseason, he's averaging about 10 points a game and 7 rebounds. But I mean, those stats might say that, but he brings so much more value than those numbers. I mean, even the defensively, he's got 3 steals, 13 blocks. He's averaging about almost a block a game when he does play. You know, for him, points aren't what he's focused on. He wants to get this ring. I think he's like 37 or 38. Like, he's really, really old. But I mean, he's been playing since as far as the playoffs, he's been playing in the playoffs since 2007, basically every year but one. Every year but one, which is astonishing that this guy has been playing in the playoffs for this long. He's been there before, and he needs a ring. I mean, Drew Holiday has been playing well. He's been averaging about 13 as far as assists, about almost 5 and getting a steal a game. Derek White's been averaging about 18, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, and also a block. It's going to be very, very interesting with the benches, because when Dante Exum comes in, he does play a little wild. He's just I don't know if it's just his length, but I mean, he's been doing his thing off the bench. Luka, I mean, Kyrie almost 23 as far as scoring, and Luka's almost averaging 30, and almost a triple double too. So I can already imagine because the game starts at 7:30 and it's like 5:30 now, so it's in about 2 hours. I can just already picture just lots of boos, and at least for Kyrie's standpoint, because it's going to be something to watch, because he did play there, and he then asked for a trade to leave, and yeah, it's going to be something to behold. It's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be. I don't think it's going to be chippy or chirpy, just because of how much respect JT has for Kyrie, and he did play with him, but I do want to see some type of animosity with Kyrie and the fans of Boston. I really want to see that, and I really do think that's going to be going to be there at some point during the series. But yeah, I feel like with Dallas, they have to out-rebound the Celtics, because now that they have Porzingis, and then when he gets out and Horford comes in, they're going to have to try to get as many rebounds as possible. So Dallas has to out-rebound, get timely stops. They're not a great defensive team, but if they can just get the timely stops maybe late in the fourth quarter to get a possession that leads to a basket, or they get a steal and then go to the free throw line at the very end of the game to seal the deal. It's going to be something like that with Dallas. They have to play smart. They have to basically almost play perfect basketball. I will say that the isolation buckets with Luka and Kyrie are going to be a big, big part, but PJ Washington has to make has to make most of his threes that might be wide open. Derrick Jones has to do the same thing, and he's got to play basically Tony Allen defense the entire series, or at least play good enough defense to where it makes Tatum work on offense and work on defense, with PJ Washington as well. So, and with Boston, defensively, I don't really know how they're supposed to do this because they have basically the best dynamic duo in the playoffs still. I know JT and Jaylen Brown have accomplished more together than these two. But, I mean, I just think that these two guys are playing better than the others. And, I mean, I just don't see the Jaylen Brown and Tatum being the best. If they win the chip this year, then they probably will be a top 3 duo next year. Just because they do have one championship underneath their belt if Boston does win this series. But yeah, I mean, defensively, I don't know how you're supposed to defend Luka and Kyrie, just because you're going to have at least 3 eyes on Luka and 2 eyes on Kyrie just in case. But, I mean, also for the Dallas Mavericks to win the series, the role players got to play well. Josh Green has got to play defense, don't get any dumb fouls with Boston. Horford's got to come off the bench with energy and be that star that he was in the playoffs when Porzingis went down. But yeah, if Boston does not win this series, I don't think they will. Like, it's I'm not saying that, I don't know. Like, this year was probably their easiest path. Easier than the I think it was 2019. I think it was no, it wasn't 2019. I think it was the 2021 or 2022 I think it was 22. That postseason when they played against the Warriors. That run was more difficult than this one, just because Miami, Josh Richardson, Jaime Jaquez, Jimmy Butler didn't play. Obviously, Tyrese Halliburton missing games 3 and 4 and the rest of the game in game 2. I forgot Terry Rozier didn't play in the Miami. So I knew there were 4 Heat guys. Jarrett Allen didn't play, but at the same time, Porzingis didn't play either. So it kind of canceled out there. But then Donovan Mitchell missed the last few games of that series. And I think that's about it as far as like the guys that missed any significant time. But yeah, if they don't win, it's going to be hard for me to rely on them because of how this team got there. Indiana did play 7 games against the New York Knicks, and even if the Knicks were to beat the Indiana Pacers, I still don't think that the Knicks would have won, but it would have made it maybe a little bit tougher, maybe pushed to at least 6 or 7 games. But even within, they were injured with OG Anunoby, Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, and Bojan Bogdanovic. So they were missing several guys too, which is unfortunate on all the teams that Boston faced in this postseason. But I mean, it is what it is. You got to play the game. Who knows what's going to happen? But yeah, I mean, I just think that Dallas. This might be Dallas's only opportunity to be here, to get here. So I'm assuming that everybody that's not Luka or Kyrie is feeling a little antsy right now. But I mean, it's going to be a star-driven series, and it's going to be very, very interesting how Boston is going to attack them defensively, the Mavericks. But yeah, I would say Mavericks in 7, and the next episode I will do, I will probably reiterate or watch, be just a recap of what I saw game one, and hopefully, it's a good game, because if it's a blowout, I'm going to be very, very, very disappointed. But we will see at 7:30. Other basketball news. It's been it's going on in the WNBA, and obviously it's about Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is, no one knows, rookie for the Indiana Fever. Obviously, probably the best collegiate basketball player as far as what she was able to do at Iowa, the female scoring leader and the all-time points leader in NCAA history, passing Pete Maravich. So she's one of the most unique and one of the best players in all of women's basketball, arguably the best college basketball female of all time. I know you got Candace Parker and several others, but she's playing for the Indiana Fever, and she's getting a lot of heat as of late, just because of, she's getting beat up, and there's clips everywhere. A lot of people have seen them. This is kind of old news at this point. I'm fed up about it, honestly. And the narrative is, the professionals that are in there are getting jealous because of how much fame and attention she's getting than them when they came into the league, or while they're playing right now. And, I saw a video this morning about how, just Caitlin's composure. She just turns the cheek. She's not getting into any scuffles or anything like that, as far as like any fights and stuff. But when Angel Reese beat her in college, I don't remember if it was the national championship game or not, but when Angel Reese beat her, Caitlin was just trying to just walk back. She said good game or whatever, and then Angel Reese was just doing this, whatever. And Caitlin was like, you won, but next year I'm coming back. And she did, and she beat Angel Reese in the semifinal of the March Madness women's tournament. And, Caitlin just gave her a hug. She didn't do anything, crazy or any taunting level or anything like that. And to be honest, like, no one was going to watch Angel Reese play basketball. Granted, she's a fantastic player. She's about 6'3", and excellent defender, can rebound, play really good defense. But everybody watched women's basketball because of this girl, Caitlin Clark. And it's not the narrative of the WNBA, of people watching it, is because of her. Who wanted to watch the WNBA? I know Sabrina Ionescu had something to do with it last year, but with her being, with working out with Kobe Bryant and stuff like that. But the reason, she is the only reason why a lot of people are watching watching women's basketball now, is because of her. And, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. Yeah, I'm watching basketball because of Caitlin Clark as well. She can shoot from the logo. She can shoot anywhere. And she's being guarded like Steph Curry. As soon as the ball is inbounded, and if she doesn't even have the ball, someone is face guarding her 94 feet to where she's at, and it's very, very impressive of what she's able to do. Obviously, everyone's talking about the hit that Kennedy did with the shoulder, and that was uncalled for. And I don't really understand the point of that. Of that, and they upgraded it to a flagrant one, which it was after the game, so it's not like that really mattered. They still lost. But I feel like and Matt Barnes has said this, and then a lot of people, even Kenya Martin on Gil's Arena was saying it, but I mean, Matt Barnes was basically saying that the teammates, where you at, they don't care. I was watching another video last night where Caitlin Clark came in a video, came into the press conference, and one of her teammates was like, hey, thanks for coming, and I'm just like, and the person who was narrating that video was saying that she was signing autographs for her fans after the game, so. Sometimes her own teammates don't even like her. I don't really understand why she's getting this much hate for it. She's she's making the WNBA players fly charter. That never really happened. They probably fly Southwest or some shit. Like something not even remotely as nice as what they're doing right now. And, Stephen A on his podcast, on his show was saying that, if she's the golden cow, you better milk that thing, to be honest. And he's right, because if she's making $250,000 and obviously it's Caitlin Clark, it's a different player, that she's, different circumstances with some others, but she has a $28 million contract with Nike. And what if other people, what if Asia Wilson or Diana Taurasi, which, she's widely renowned as one of the best players of all time at her position, Breanna Stewart, what if they get other massive shoe deals like this? And she could be and it could all be because of Caitlin Clark bringing a lot of endorsements, lots of sponsorships, lots of eyes to this game. Because to be honest, no one watched women's basketball before Caitlin Clark went to Iowa. I mean, I know I didn't. Like, I'd rather watch, Blake Griffin dunk on somebody than to watch a whole quarter of a WNBA game, like just about 10 years ago. Obviously lots of things have changed with women empowerment, everything like that, and the different media handles and everything like that. But, this bullying Caitlin Clark because the narrative that, she's white and, no one would care if she was a black or whatever, like that's a myth. I don't really even care if I get canceled for that, because to be honest, like, if it was a black girl doing the exact same thing, being able to do the things that she can, everyone would be watching it too. Like, when Steph Curry, just came in, to the league, he wasn't really anything that was really like he wasn't a star right away. And then 2014, I think 2013, they went to the playoffs under Mark Jackson or whatever. And then 2014, like lots of other people just started watching the game because he was doing things that no one was able to do. Shoot from basically 35, 40 feet, shooting from half court, being able to make stuff like that just seem easy. That's what Caitlin Clark did at Iowa. Didn't matter. It wasn't because she was white. It was because what she was able to do on the basketball court that made people want to watch. And I hate this narrative, and I hope it stops. And Angel Reese was like, I want people to know that they're watching me too. Like, she's averaging 10. I think Angel Reese is averaging 10.6 points a game and like 9 rebounds, which is phenomenal for a post player. I don't watch a lot of the WNBA, but for her being a rookie and a post player, those are pretty good numbers for her. Caitlin Clark is averaging 15.6, 5.1 rebounds, 6.4 assists, and a steal. Now, as far as her shooting percentages go, that's not very good. 35.7, 29.7, but it's a different game for the perimeter guard aspect, because they can, she's getting beat up. She's, getting, the defenders are being very physical with her and everything like that. And she's just, she's a rookie, so she's got to find a way to figure it out. And, show swoops on Gil's Arena. I'm bringing lots of references from that show because I do watch it a lot. Not only for knowledge standpoint, but it's very, very entertaining. And she said that basically when college players get drafted, they only have like 2 weeks and then the season starts. So I don't really understand why that happens. It seems like a dumb rule because, if you haven't played since then, you have 2 weeks and then boom, you're going. Plus, you don't really understand how the game is going to be played until you play it. And then, it's a different game, and she's just been trying to adjust. She's only played 11 games. She's got years in the league, and she's 22, so she's got at least till 10 to 15 years if she wants to play. But she's league leading in turnovers. I'm pretty sure. I think that I'm on ESPN. I don't even see where. She's averaging the most. As far as turnovers per se, she's leading the league in turnovers, but she's a rookie. Everyone knows that. And, she's going to get better. So we're just going to set that to rest now. And hopefully somebody can actually step up for her, and hopefully her teammates will basically like her and be like, hey, this is our player. Stop doing this shit. We don't like it. We know what you're trying to do, and we don't fuck with it. But, hopefully, and if they don't do that, hopefully the league will step in. And if they don't step in, Caitlin Clark, I feel like you should just, beat some ass, honestly. Basically, if someone shoulder checked you like that Kennedy woman, I don't want to incite violence, but, next time you see her, I would, just give her one, or maybe just run full speed and give her a shoulder, but, all this is just stupid. It's dumb, and it's just people trying to get attention, and it's just unwarranted attention. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say about Caitlin Clark. And I feel like she's going to get better through time, and percentages are going to get better. And she's top 5 in assists, averaging 6.4. But yeah, so Caitlin Clark, I hope your teammates stick up for you, and I hope that everything gets better for you. And yeah, we're just going to move on here. What happened today in the baseball world? Willie Mays. Willie Mays is currently in the top 20 in hits. He is number 12 with 3,293. If you don't watch baseball, aren't really interested in baseball, or just been sleeping on a rock, and if you are a baseball fan, the Negro League's stats were integrated with the MLB. If you don't like me saying that word, I'm sorry. That's what the league was called. If you don't really know, they both are now merged together. So Josh Gibson leads in OPS and in average. Ty Cobb led in average for the longest time at 367. Josh Gibson comes in, and now he's the league leader, average of 372. And other guys I don't even know, Oscar Charleston is now 363. Roger Hornsby used to be number 2 and average of 358. Like, there's a lot of these guys I don't even know who they are. Buck Leonard, I played MLB The Show, so I know who this guy is. 345 OPS of 1,042. So I think he's like third in OPS or something like that. Like crazy. And he's seventh. But, Barry Bonds, I was like fourth. Because Babe Ruth was 1, Williams 2, Gehrig 3, and then I think Barry Bonds 4. But Bonds was juicing. But yeah, he is now 13th. I mean, he's always been 13th because if you the stats say that like he, if I can just show you here, yeah, if you see here on hits. He apparently he played in the Negro Leagues as well with like the Barons. I don't remember, Birmingham Barons. That's the team. Played with the Birmingham Barons, and they put 10 hits from that league that he was playing in to his all-time total. So it was probably like 3,283, and they just put 10 more on there. I don't know if he's still alive or not, to be honest. I think he's still alive. I think he's 93 years old. One of the best center fielders to have ever played this game. You just see these stats here, just absolutely insane. What he was able to do in his era. 301, almost 2,000 RBIs, 1909. He was a stolen base threat, 660 homers, 3,000 hits. And then if you look at the awards, I mean, all-star. I mean, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Basically almost a 20-time All-Star, World Series champion, NL Rookie of the Year, two-time NL MVP, Gold Glove in 1957. A lot of people know him from the over-the-shoulder catch, which is one of the most historic catches of all time, whether it was baseball or football. Everybody knows or has seen that catch before. This is just his rankings in every offensive category. Birmingham Black Barons was the team that he played in in the Negro Leagues. But yeah, 10 hits added to his ledger. But yeah, the homers stay at 660, which is still insane of what he was able to do in his career and bring that community, the black community, into baseball. I know Jackie Robinson was the focal point, and then Henry Aaron came in, and then he soon came in later. But I mean, yeah, I just wanted to put some praise on him because he did get more hits added to his career. I haven't really been able to find a baseball game to watch lately, but I just want to highlight the Paul Skenes debut against Shohei Ohtani yesterday. Very, very impressive with how Paul Skenes has been pitching. Here are his numbers. He's 3-0. I mean, he's only pitched in about 5 games. He's got two no decisions. And what that means, if you don't follow baseball, a no decision is basically you pitch 4 innings or more, but you don't get the loss. So it's one of those things where you pitched, but you didn't really do anything in a way for your stats to be effective, to be affected. First MLB debut, struck out 7 in 4 innings. And then, obviously if you can read, you got this. But I mean, what he's been able to do, strike out 38 in the span of 5 games. Basically, his average, it looks like when you look at his innings, is going to be about 5 2/3 innings, just about. As far as walks, I mean, when you watched him pitch, at times he will walk people, but I mean, his control as far as the walks that he's allowing is better than I thought it was going to be. Because he does throw hard. There are times where he will leak a breaking ball over the plate. Andy Pages did that last night. Crushed it to left field. I don't know if he was sitting breaking ball or not, because the Dodgers were definitely having trouble with the fastball last night. And yeah, I mean, this dude is going to be a box office attraction for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And even Shohei Ohtani was giving him praise last night after the game. They did lose 10-6. I saw majority of the highlights, and basically, James Paxton, gave up several runs in the second inning. They got 7 runs in the second, and the Dodgers tried to come back, but they just weren't able to get anything going and to get a big rally. Shohei Ohtani in the 8th inning had 2 runners on. He made it to the warning track fly out, which could have definitely took some momentum 10-9, but Paul Skenes pitched 6 innings, struck out 8. 5 innings, struck out 8, 3 earned runs. But this is kind of this is the first Ohtani at bat. 101 just seems very, very easy. These are all his ABs against Paul Skenes. And he struck out Mookie Betts with lots of fastballs. This is at 100. This is just how he's able to just throw 100 easily, and that's 101 right there. Just blew by 100 right by him. Wasn't even close to getting any foul tips or anything like that. Fortunately, he leaves the fastball a little too middle. And Shohei was just able to just knock it out of the park. This AB, I watched in full. He just got Shohei Ohtani just put a good swing on this fastball, and he was able to just put it over to center field. But yeah, I watched that at bat in particular. And he tried to throw a splitter / sprinkler on the outside, and it didn't. It was a ball, and it wasn't even close. But yeah, he didn't really give another strikeout pitch for Ohtani to swing at that would entice him to chase. And then he just gave that. With Ohtani probably staying on the middle, staying on top of the plate, most likely, that was probably inside pitch for him. And when you look at that, it was middle in, which was probably inside for Ohtani. So he just leaked that out to center. And then the third AB, he was able to pull a single through the hole of second and first. So, but yeah, I just wanted to give shout out to Paul Skenes, because he is doing things that I never thought I could watch. And I mean, he's going to be a problem for the entire league. And I think this might be his fastball grip here, but it's not really that interesting. It looked like he was throwing a sprinkler or his splitter, sinker, whatever that pitch is called. But yeah, I mean, he just blew by those 3 fastballs in that first AB to Ohtani, and I mean, and to do it against the Dodgers at your home place is just outstanding, because the Dodgers are probably the best offensive team in the league by far. And to get that victory, and Aroldis Chapman to throw 104, like, and he's 30. Meanwhile, to remind you, he's also 37. He's been in the league for forever, and for him to hit 103, 104 again, that's absolutely insane. He's not the closer. He's not that closing role anymore, but he's that good lefty bullpen piece that Pittsburgh needs, and they were able to pull the trigger on him. But yeah, I mean, as far as other pitchers go, Carlos Rodon for the Yankees, I'm going to talk about them a little bit now. The Yankees here are the standings for the Yankees for the entire MLB, but for the Yankees, they are 44-19. The only other team that has the same record as the Philadelphia Phillies, but that is probably due to Atlanta losing Spencer Strider and Ronald Acuna Jr. for the year. But the Yankees are on a 7-game win streak, and their pitching, their offense, like, they've been one of the best teams in baseball all year. And as far as pitching goes, it's partially it's due to this guy right here. In 2022, the Giants signed Carlos Rodon for a year as they're trying to figure out, no, it was a trade. They traded him to the Giants. And I think his stats are right here. 14-8, 2.88 ERA, 178 innings, and 237 strikeouts. Like, he was an all-star that year for the NL, and he was an all-star for the 2021 Chicago White Sox. So 2023, Yankees inked him up for a deal, and everyone was thinking, man, if he's just able to do half of what he did for San Francisco, then that's going to be insane, because you had Garrett Cole, you had I think that's about it. I think I'm kidding, but you had Nestor Cortez, and you had Clark, Michael King. I don't know if he was the starter for them at that time or not, but Michael King now is starter or reliever nowadays for the Padres. But they had a decent enough starting rotation in 2023 with the addition of Carlos Rodon. But Rodon kept getting injured. He was very injury prone that year, and he just was not good at all. As far as like opponent batting average, I'm trying to see if that stat is on here. It doesn't look like it, but the opponent batting average wasn't good. 261 as far as a whole team. 200 is pretty good. 189, that's insane. The whole team hitting like that. And then obviously 2020 is COVID year, so I don't really count that, because you only played in 4 games, and that a lot of people write off that year. But this year, I mean, he's performing like he was when he was an all-star. His ERA is a little high, but he's also playing in Yankee Stadium with a short porch with lefties and everything like that. So, but 13 games, strikeout 71. I mean, he's basically, he's doing better than he did last year. That's for sure. And he's pitched more innings, pitched one less game, but he's pitched more. He's much better than he was last year. And hopefully this continues throughout the and after the All-Star break, because they are definitely going to need it. Because where's the standings? The division is going to be tight. Baltimore Orioles are going to be a wild card team, but Tampa Bay is always going to be one of those teams where they might make a good push, maybe to get somebody from the trade deadline or free agent market. And I mean, Tampa Bay is just a good team that's coached really well. Toronto's kind of the team that I was not expecting to be this bad. And they're not really bad. It's just as far as they've just been very, very underwhelming and very at times disappointing with the amount of talent that they do have on the roster. Cleveland is shockingly. I thought that this division was going to be a lot more difficult, but looks like the only other team that's in their way is Kansas City. And they've been a team that I didn't know that they were going to be this good. I thought, because typically they're in the bottom three. Detroit, I thought they were going to be a little bit better. I thought they were going to be able to maintain that hitting, and I was clearly wrong. And then the AL West, obviously, we thought the A's were going to be at the very bottom, and then the Angels at the top. But I'm glad that there's some there's some hope for the Oakland A's. They're not going to go anywhere but out of Oakland, unfortunately. But, Texas Rangers, they got beat up with DeGrom, Scherzer being injured, White Langford being injured. I think Corey Seager just got injured last night. And then Josh Young is also injured. So lots of bodies that are injured, and hopefully Texas Rangers can hold this second spot, and when all those guys come back, be the World Series chance that they are. And one other thing before I keep going, it's a good thing I saw this because I have a segment here for the Mets. Honestly, the New York Mets have been one of the most disappointing teams in all of baseball these past several years. I don't get it. I mean, they got Justin Verlander, they got Scherzer, they got Lindor. Lindor's been producing, but they shipped off the two pitchers, and those two pitchers ended up going further in the postseason than the Mets did, because I don't even think the Mets even made it to the postseason last year. And if they did, it probably wasn't for very long. But and then with Pete Alonso, they don't even know if he's going to be extended. And it's going to be disappointing if they lose him, because if they do, it's going to be, I don't really know why people would want to go to so I'm not really sure why they would want to go to a New York Met game if Pete Alonso isn't alongside Francisco Lindor, because if he leaves, Lindor's probably going to try to opt out as best he can, then him go. But yeah, I mean, this division is going to be Philly dominated the rest of the year, and it's just shocking that the Washington Nationals are a better team than New York Mets. I don't know. I mean, New York Mets are on a 3-game win streak, whoop-de-doo, but I'm not really sure what to say about this team. And I bring the Mets up because Jorge Lopez the other day had a little, prima donna moment, threw his glove. He got ejected for arguing with the third base umpire about something, and got ejected. Threw his glove over the net. And English isn't his best language, but he was trying to say that he's the worst teammate in baseball or whatever. But a lot of people, and I heard it too, but I also heard teammate as well, because our ears can if we think that we hear something, we're going to probably hear it. But, he said he's the worst teammate in baseball to try to clean that up. Teammate in baseball. And, they released him, and he's probably happy because he can actually go try to find someone to actually play meaningful baseball with. I know the Orioles need somebody for a closer. I don't think he's going to be that closing role, but I mean, shoot. If me as a Cardinal fan, I'd take him. I would definitely take him. But even the Cardinals, I always want to, I've said lots of negative things about my Cardinals lately. On this podcast and show, whatever you want to call this. I call it a show / podcast, but they've been very, very underwhelming and very, very inconsistent. But I mean, they're 29-31 and they're in the wild card hunt. They've been winning enough games to be over the Pirates, and this division right here is going to be like the AL Central and AL East because of the uncertainty of everyone else. The Dodgers gonna be the number 1 seed in their division, and even with the NL West, like just like the Central, what if the Diamondbacks get hot again and they get to where they were last year, the World Series? It just kind of depends on what happens with the Padres, what happens with the Giants, because Blake Snell is now injured again. Hopefully he comes back and stays healthy because I like watching him pitch. And when healthy, he is one of the top 5 best arms in the entire sport. But as far as with the Yankees, like I was talking to them about before I just rambled on, they've been, where they're at because of him, Luis Gil, and mind you, Garrett Cole has not even pitched yet. And that's the scary part about this team, is that the reigning AL Cy Young Award winner has not even pitched yet. And they have Marcus Stroman, Nestor Cortez, and Luis Gil and Carlos Rodon. And then I don't know if Clark Schmidt is on the as far as pitching, but Clark Schmidt, he's injured. But I mean, it's been a 4-man rotation pretty much, and I don't even know who this dude is. Nope, I have no idea who this guy is, but he is apparently they're the 5th starter. He's only pitched 2 games, but better than nothing. And to just show to show love to my Cardinals, Alec Burleson, I want to give him credit too, because I don't really know at times why he's playing, but he's playing very well as of late. And I think he had at one point like a 21 game on base streak or something. Like it was crazy. But yeah, he's been playing well. If only Wilson Contreras didn't stand like a foot away from JD Martinez, maybe he would still be playing. But I mean, the Cardinals I would probably say if the Cardinals can just maintain where they're at without Contreras, and then when Contreras comes back, hopefully, and I say hopefully, they can get into the wild card spot, because Nolan Gorman has been playing his butt off, leads the team in RBIs and in homers and OPS. Do I think he's an all-star? No. I wish the average would be a little bit better, because if the average was up maybe 260, I feel like he would be. But at the same time, he's at times he can also be very inconsistent as well. But I mean, yeah, he's going to be a guy that hits for power and strike out quite a bit. But I do want to say, as far as average goes, the one true rookie. I think Burleson's a rookie too. I know he came up. No, he's not a rookie anymore. Never mind. He was rookie last year. But Mason Wynn, 309 as a rookie, being that defensive shortstop and getting on base for us, for the guys like Goldschmidt, Gorman, and Arenado, and Contreras. I mean, he typically hits toward the bottom of the order, but he's been playing very, very well. I just want to shout out to the Cardinals because I was with my friends the other day, and I was just saying that of how terrible the Cardinals are, because I still don't think they're a good enough team to go deep in the playoffs. And even though I do love my Cardinals, I am very, very objective and very honest, and I don't think that they're a team that can get there to the playoffs. But I just really think that maybe we part ways with Marmol and get a different manager, and maybe get some guys that's a starting rotation that's not ancient and can throw. What I mean by throw is throw 95. If find guys that can throw the average velocity as a starter. I know Lance Lynn is a guy that relies on movement now, and I know Kyle Gibson does too. But Sonny Gray is the hardest throwing starting pitcher we have. And, he's 7-3. He's got the best record amongst our starters. And, I don't even know who. And then Steven Matz, soft lefty. I just don't really think that we have the starting rotation to get there. And I really think that we can either call somebody from AAA or call one of our prospects or do something to get over the hump, because Pittsburgh has a better starting rotation than we do. The Cubs have a better starting rotation than we do. I don't know about the Reds. I know that they have Hunter Green. I would probably say that they do because they have Andrew Abbott and they have someone else. But I would say that they have a better rotation than the Cardinals. But it's going to be very, and then the Brewers also, I feel like have a better, they just have a better team regardless than the Cardinals. But yeah, I just think that they have, I'm looking at their rotation now. Frankie Montas, Hunter Green, Andrew Abbott, Nick Lodolo. Yeah, Nick, it's not even close. But yeah, the Cardinals have a lot of work to do over the offseason and what have you. So, or at least after the All-Star break, they have to decide what they're going to do. Because All-Star voting is now open. If you do watch baseball, vote for your All-Stars. I tend to vote for the ones who are most deserving and the guys that I feel like, like I said, deserve to go, but also look at the numbers to see if the numbers don't lie. But the one thing about one of the things I wanted to bring up in baseball news was also about the Yankees, and I know I rambled, I apologize again, but the Yankees have a chance to do something that hasn't been done since 1930. It started in 1920, the late 20s, and then it went into like early 30s. I think it ended in 1931. So Juan Soto, and I'm just going to just show it, at least show one of the screens that I have. This is the league stats right here. And if you see based on OPS numbers, you see Aaron Judge and Juan Soto 1 and 2. And then Shohei, Kyle Tucker, and then you'll see Mookie Betts down here, and probably more Dodgers, and the list will go on. But the last time two teammates from the Yankees have done that was 1937. And, oh, what the heck? Oh, my bad. Wrong window. What in the world? There we go. My bad. This was the last time the Yankees, as far as teammates, led the league in F-WAR. I probably read the wrong statistics, but these two guys right here are the reason why they're 44-19, along with the pitching and Anthony Volpe and the other guys that are contributing, especially Giancarlo Stanton as well, for him being able to be on the field. F-WAR means it's Fangraphs. B-WAR is Baseball Reference, and these are basically saying that the last time that that these two teammates led the league in WAR, their outcome. The Mariners didn't even make the postseason. They lost, didn't even make it. Won the World Series, and then didn't win 30-31, but won in 27-28. It's just insane how these two guys are just so good at what they do. It's just insane on what how good those two guys are as a tandem, 2 and 3 in the lineup. It's just unheard of, and hopefully at the end of the year, I really do think Juan Soto is going to stay in New York. I don't really see him leaving after the year that he's having right now, and hopefully he does stay because he's doing things that's very, very unheard of and very well for the Yankees. Been playing good defense, and he's hitting out of this world at like 311 or something like that, like crazy. 319, close enough. But yeah, that's all about the baseball news that I have for us today. As far as if you watched or you saw one of the tabs open for Throwback Thursday for what happened today in sports history on June 6th. In 1992, Eddie Murray, who's one of the best switch hitters of all time, no doubt about it. He passed Mickey Mantle for the most RBIs by a switch hitter, and with at least over 1,500 RBIs. And he did it by beating the Pirates 15-1 today in 1992. As a member of the New York Mets, there was one other record that I saw in here that I thought was, there we go, found it. Found it on here and here. I just want to make sure I got the year right. In 2018, when LeBron was with the Cleveland Cavaliers in the finals, I think that was the year they got swept by KD and the Warriors. He passed Michael Jordan for the most 30-point games in postseason history. He's probably got way more now, he's at the time when he passed it, that he has 109, or he had 109 at the time, and that was in 2018 in the 2018 NBA Finals. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. If you have any other things you'd like me to talk about for next week or this upcoming weekend, let me know in the comments down below. Comment also if you don't agree with some of my takes, or you maybe thought of something that I didn't think of. I would love to hear what you guys would have to say, and I will see you guys in the next one. Love you guys, and y'all have a good rest of your day. And if I don't post another video over the weekend, hope you guys have a good weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.